All right, okay. This is May 2013, question number 7. And the question says, the table below shows the amount to the nearest dollars spent by a group of 40 students at the school canteen during a period of 1 week. All right. So a few things. Everybody should remember that n is equal to the sum of the frequency. So if I add this up, I should get what? 40, because there are 40 students in the survey. This value here is called the upper class boundary limit, upper class limit, and the one to the left would be the lower class limit. Now A is asking us to copy and complete the table to show the cumulative frequency. So in other words, let us complete this table by completing the cumulative frequency curve, cumulative frequency column. Now, cumulative frequency means that you must add the frequency as you go down. So this becomes 19 plus 11, which is equal to 30. Then 30 plus 8, which gives you 38. And 38 plus 2, which gives you 40. All right. Now, the B part of the question. So we just completed the first part. Now, the B part of the question is asking us to, using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent $5 on the horizontal axis and 1 centimeter to represent 5 students on the vertical axis, we're to draw the cumulative frequency curve for the data. Now, before we start, the first thing that we have to remember is that to draw the cumulative frequency curve, we need the upper class boundary and the cumulative frequency. So we're going to plot the upper class boundary against the cumulative frequency. Now, to get the upper class boundary, you're going to add 0.5 to the upper class limit. So here it's going to be 10.53. The x value is the upper class boundary, and the y value is the cumulative frequency. Then 20.510, then 30.519, 40.530, 50.538, and 60.540. So these are the points we would need to plot in order to draw our cumulative frequency curve. It is the upper class boundary on the horizontal axis and cumulative frequency on the vertical axis. All right, so let's go down to the graph sheet. All right, so this is what your labeled graph would look like. It would look something like this. To the left, you have the cumulative frequency, and the scale on the cumulative frequencies on the vertical axis, and the scale is what? 1 centimeter to 5 students. So this is 1 centimeter, and it's 1 centimeter to 5 students. The scale on the horizontal axis is also 1 centimeter to 5 students. The points I would need to plot are 10.53. All right, looking at it, the scale is 1 centimeter to what? 5, which is 2 centimeter to 10. So each of these little division represent $1. So if this is 10, the one immediately after it would be 11. 10.5 would be between 11 and 10. Now, that is extremely difficult to plot, I wouldn't say extremely difficult, but it's not exactly as easy to plot. We could plot it, or another option would be is that we could change how we label the axes. So I'll show you what I mean. Now, if I wanted to plot 10.53, this is 10 here, and this would be 11. 10.5 would be in the middle between them. So this is 10.5, which corresponds to 1, 2, 3. This would be the point. Not so easy to plot. 10.53. Which would be there. Not so easy to plot. We could go ahead and plot them. So as you can see, it's not on any of the lines. It's not on the major grid line. It's not on the minor grid lines. It's not on any of them. It's in between the grid lines. All right, in between a major and a minor grid line. We could plot it if we want to. All right, so if I wanted to, I could, or if I wanted to, I could change the change how I label the scale on the horizontal axis to make it simple. All right, but I think I'm going to go ahead as it is. So the next point is 20.5, which corresponds to 10. This is 20. The one immediately after it is 21. In between them is 20.5. So that's my point. Then 30.5, which corresponds to 19. This is 30. Immediately after 30 is 31. In between them is 30.5. And that corresponds to 19, which would put me about there. 40.5 corresponds to 30. That would be about here. 50, 45, this is 50, 55, and then 60, then 65. So 50.5 corresponds to 38. 50.5, 38 would be up here somewhere. That would be up here. And 60.5 which corresponds to 40. That would put me there. All right, so all my points. I'm guessing the first point should probably be around 0.5. It should put me somewhere around there. All right, so now that I have all my points, I'm gonna sketch my curve. Remember, a curve should be drawn by a freehand. Freehand when you're drawing a curve. 1 and 2, the way you draw a curve is that with every movement of your hand, you try to go through as many points as possible. Points to note: you should not follow the pencil. Should not follow the pencil with your eye, but you should only you should look where you want the pencil to go. All right, let's try and see if we can get this in one go. All right. So our paper is shifting. Not exactly very easy to do. All right. Not so bad. Could be better in some areas. So let's see if we can fix it up. All right. All right, that's a little bit better. All right. So this is our cumulative frequency curve. This is our cumulative frequency curve. All right. Now let's just use the curve to answer some questions. Now, the first thing we're asked is what is the median? we're asked to determine the median. All right, we could go back up actually to the previous page. That's where the questions are. And what we're asked to see, use your graph to estimate the median amount of money spent. So we're going to look at how to determine the median amount of money. And 2, the probability that a student chosen at random spent less than $23 during the week. All right, so 2 things. We want to determine the median, and we want to also determine the probability that a student chosen at random spent $23, spent less than $23 during the week. All right. So first, now the median is the amount of money the student in the middle spent. All right. So half of 40 is 20. So this is n over 2, n being 40 over 2, which is what? 20. All right. So at 20, I'm going to draw a horizontal line. So I'm drawing my horizontal line. All right. And anywhere it hit the curve, I'm going to draw a vertical line down. All right. And much to the right. So I'm drawing my vertical line down. All right. All right, so that's my vertical line down. So the value here is Q2, which is my median. All right, so if we're reading this correctly, that value seems to be $31. So the median Q2 is equal to $31. So the median amount spent by one student at the canteen for the week is $31. Now, the next thing we're asked to do is we're asked to determine the probability that a student chosen at random spent less than $23. Now, to answer this, the first thing we have to do is we have to find out which student spent $23. All right, so let's identify 23 on the horizontal axis because that's where the money is. So this is dollars. All right, 23, this is 20, 21, 21, 22, 23. The 23 is there. All right, so then we're going to go up. All right, we're going to go up, drawing a horizontal line. I'm doing it freehand, but when you do it, you should use a ruler. And then, so this is $23. Let's see which student that corresponds to. All right, to me, it looks like it corresponds to student number 12. So the 12th student out of the 40 students spent $23. Everybody above him spent more than $23, and everybody below him spent less than $23. So the probability, so first of all, the number of students who spend less than $23, um, that is equal to 12. And so now the probability of spending less than $23 would be equal to 12 out of what? 40. or